try as they might, the mainstream media and big tech just simply can't prop up Kamala Harris's campaign enough. She's actually having a pretty tough time. So despite all of these polls that supposedly show her way ahead of Donald Trump, despite all of her changing positions that say, hey, she's a woman of the people, right? And despite all of the claims that this is a grassroots movement, the American people just simply aren't buying it. And last night, Donald Trump actually had a town hall in replace of the debate that should have happened over on Fox News because Kamala Harris is just simply too afraid to come out and speak on her own without Tim Walz holding her hand. But Donald Trump was there to answer some questions. And he actually commented on a piece of delicious news we have to simply get out there. Check it out.
Tim Walz wants free college education, legal driver's licenses.
I was so honored today.
And she wants a path to citizenship.
His brother endorsed me.
I saw that.
And his whole family. I saw the picture. And honestly, it was a very nice looking family. But his brother endorsed me and the whole family endorsed me. I said, who are all the people?
Let me play Kamala.
There's something weird with that guy. He's a weird guy. JD is not weird. He's a solid rock. I happen to be a very solid rock. We're not weird. We're other things perhaps, but we're not weird.
So for months, the mainstream media has been bringing out Donald Trump's sister and his niece and his nephew, and they're all saying, oh, he's a terrible person. Don't let him be president, please. And of course, all of their hatred of Donald Trump is tied to basically inheritance money that Donald Trump is in charge of. Okay, but we won't get into that right now. So it's hilarious to actually see this all turned around completely. And yes, it was not just Walz's brother. It was Walz's entire family, mothers, brothers, sisters, etc. They've all come out and endorsed Donald Trump, saying, please keep Tim as far away from power, as far away from the White House as you possibly can. All right. And it's love to see this turn about on the Kamala Harris campaign. Of course, the main thing I want to talk about today, though, however, is simply the fact that things are not going so well for Kamala because now the personal attacks are really starting to come out against Donald Trump. And when that happens, that means that, yes, they've run out of all artillery. Nothing is seeming to stick. And so now they have to really bring in the fear, bring in the hate mongering, right? And we're going to see this just really ramped up to 100 on the Morning Joe.
Trump out of his mind. And always in that story, in the equivalency, the false equivalency by too many reporters and too many American newspapers, there's also, by the way, Kamala Harris changed her mind on fracking. They always throw in something like that in coverage of the story. It's ridiculous. We don't cover the man for how dangerous he is.
Yeah, Jonathan Lemire, I mean, the shocking statements come every day, and not surprising, but still shocking, what he says. And, even Arlington, you've seen major newspaper outlets talk about, well, how will this impact Kamala Harris and the issue of Afghanistan after he goes? And he
does a thumbs up and pictures.
Well, and just acts like a brute and desecrates Arlington. That's not a time to say, well, how does it, it's, but again, we see it time and time again. For some reason, the mainstream media, what are we, 9 years in to Donald Trump's era in American politics, still doesn't know how to cover Donald Trump. They still are engaging, even at this late hour, in moral relativism and saying, yeah, but. And again, it's they just don't know how to put it in proper perspective because, as I said yesterday, they are so concerned about being objective that they're treating this race like it was 1996, Clinton versus Dole, or 2004, Bush versus Kerry. And their objective, and I put that word in quotes, their objectivity actually is not objective at all. It ends up playing to Donald Trump's advantage every day because they are so numbed by the hate speech that is spewed out of his mouth for the past 9 years.
Yeah, I think it's a fair analysis. A lot of media professors would agree with you that the mainstream media, as it were, is still struggling, still adapting to how to cover Donald Trump because he's someone that we've never seen before. And yes, it's almost a decade since, and certainly much has been written fairly about the mistakes that were made in 2015, 2016. I would argue the media's come certainly improved. We were better at covering 2020 than we were in 2016. I think in many ways we've been good about covering Trump's post-presidency. But you're right, in an effort to appear balanced, to appear objective, mistakes are absolutely being made, and standards are being applied to both candidates here when Donald Trump is a different animal. He is an insurrectionist candidate. We should never lose sight of that. He lies more than any other major political figure we've ever had. Not even close. He is someone who flouts every rule and norm. He is someone who has been convicted of a crime. And all of that needs to be said and said. And I think the other focus here needs to be, as the media, on the stakes of this election. What it means, not just the day-to-day developments. Yes, we have to cover that too. That does matter, but it's about the stakes, and it's about what it means for our nation's democracy and future.
Yes, you heard that right. According to the Morning Joe, the problem is the media is just too fair to Donald Trump, right? They're being too objective, especially when he's such a danger and a threat to democracy, okay? Well, a little fact checking going on here, right? This is back from 2018, and it found that there was 92% negative coverage of Donald Trump. Okay, 92%. This, of course, is according to the Media Research Center. So they went through ABC, CBS, NBC. They did the watch hours. They looked at the stories, how much of them had a positive spin, how much of them had a negative spin. And guess what? 92%. So I guess, according to the Morning Joe, we got to be less objective and get that up to 100% because Donald Trump is that dangerous. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. What else can we possibly say about this? The left just simply loves to crack down on people they do not agree with, right? They don't deserve to have free speech. They don't deserve to have their message heard, especially if they're a presidential candidate. And heaven forbid, if he actually is lying, that we show what he said and then contradict it with facts and evidence, right? That's not something a mainstream media outlet should be doing. We have to cut him off. We have to stop him from becoming president. And of course, that's the key. That's how you know that Donald Trump is actually winning in this election cycle, because they are getting worried. They are starting to sweat. They're starting to see that that DNC bounce never came for Kamala. They're starting to see that all of their fake polls are not swaying the American people. And speaking of polls, if we look over here from the New York Post, there are pollsters who were right in 2016 and 2020, and they think that Kamala Harris's mojo is gone. So down here, we are looking at Insider Advantage and Trafalgar. Me personally, I do like Trafalgar an awful lot. And they're saying that, yes, Donald Trump is leading in Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, statistically tied in Georgia, and is actually also leading in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. All right. So this is very interesting to see this polling coming out, because even all of these slanted polls like Ipsos, CNN, ABC, they can't hide the truth about what's really going on in their polling.
But, you know, John, when I was just mentioning right before you came on, talking about the economy, which both Harris and Trump were focused on today, it is the number one issue. And Trump still has, at least from the polling you're looking at, he still has the edge there, right?
This is Trump's biggest advantage, which is why he wants to hold it and why you see the vice president out doing economic speeches. Her ads are also tilting now heavily toward the economy. In Arizona, Trump's up 5 overall. Voters view him as the better candidate by 15 points on the economy. In Georgia, where Harris is tied, maybe +1, Trump has a slighter advantage. So you can see the trend here. In places where Harris is competitive or ahead, Trump's numbers are lower. Nevada is the outlier. This economy got thrown in the trash during COVID. But the key for Harris is to bring this Trump advantage down. Where she's winning in Wisconsin, she's up 6 in the state, Trump only +2 on the economy. This is her biggest challenge. If she can't catch Trump on the economy, at least make him +2 or +4, not +8, 16 or more. The economy right now is Trump's biggest advantage by far.
So we're supposed to believe that Kamala Harris is leading in all of these states where Trump has the clear advantage on the main issue of the day. And that, of course, is the economy. Okay, so they're asking people to vote against their self-interest. Yeah, sure, I was better off under Donald Trump. I will be better off under Donald Trump, but I'm going to go ahead and vote for Kamala Harris. It makes 0 sense, which is one of the reasons I don't believe the polls. And of course, the other is that Kamala Harris was the least popular VP, the least popular person to take on Donald Trump. And now, of course, she's tied, if not beating him, in all of these places. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.